Trinidad, you say the Cowfoot Pitfoot lady. I think St. Thomas just says the Cowfoot lady. But she lived in that house, the red house up behind the school.
Yeah, right back of the library, up in the bushes there.
Yeah, yeah.
She
Yeah.
actually live all over different places of St. Thomas. Hi, Gabby.
Hey.
Because I've had some people, even in my mother's school days, say that she used to be up behind high school and
Mm.
Lacquer school area. So that was new to me when I heard it. So I tell them, well, I guess she moved from town to country.
They
She
get run
busy. She
fast, man.
busy.
They get run
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah. We actually used to, when I was in kindergarten or first grade, a lot of us used to go up in the bushes up there to go explore in the place. At one point, we went up in the house at one time and we heard some kind of sound. But you know the road that's behind there, now that I think back, I say now that I know that the road that's behind the school and people live back there, plus there's a segment just across where the house was located, that some Rasta guys or so, they're always hanging out there and doing their smoking and stuff. So any of them could have been up in the bush doing whatever and just scaring the children off. So who knows?
Okay, Renee,
Well said.
I see the link is live on YouTube, so you might want to check with Mr. Raphael to see if it's okay to officially begin.
Okay. And Heather said on the chat that the Cowfoot lady also lived across the gut by the old school. I remember that. They used to say the Cowfoot lady used to be down there. All right, we're gonna go ahead and I can do the music now. Let me know when if you need me to start now, Gabby.
You could go ahead and start it now.
Okay.
Sometimes life makes you question everything you know.
Sometimes it seems as if I am all alone. Even though I know you sit on the throne.
But all I need to hear
From
are
you
just two words.
are just two words to know.
He says,
My
child,
there's no need to fear.
I've called you mine
I've called you mine
and paid.
for your sin.
I'm here. I see your tears
I see your tears
and I know your fears.
and know your fears, but just know I'm here.
It hurts when your loved ones let you down.
It hurts when friends judge you and act like you don't exist.
And you're afraid to share your truth.
Sharing your truth with the world feels like too big a risk.
But when those doubts creep into your mind,
But when those doubts creep into your
assurance will come.
There's no need to fear.
Don't you know you are mine?
I've called you
From the moment I died for your sins, you are no longer alone. I am here. I have seen your tears. I know your fears. Trust. I am here. Time and time again, God, you have proved your faithfulness. You were the one who rescued me, and you paid the price on Calvary, and you paved the way for my salvation. You and you alone. Come on, everybody. You were rescued. You paid the price. You paved the way. You and you alone. And today, God, we declare you have our life. You have my life. I glorify. You reign on high. You were, you are, you'll be. You have. You have my life. I glorify. You reign on high. You were, you are, you'll be. Come on, let's take it up. You have. You have my life. I glorify. You reign on high. You were, you are, you'll be. I said, God, you were, you are, and forever you'll be. No matter where you go in life, He will always be with you.
Thank you, Aunt Janae. I am sitting here going, that's good. And I wonder who he is. And I'm finding out that when I saw him, he was a kid. But anyway, bygones.
And can I
we have a-
comment, Gabrielle? That
Huh?
can I comment in that video? There was several alumni that sang with him.
I was just about to go there. There's several people in that video. Now, I'm trying to remember their alumni or if I just know them from church. So Samuel Ray's daughter is there. There's two other people and I don't remember their names that I saw. And I was like, oh, look, so-and-so. But I don't
Auntie
remember their
Berg,
names. Okay.
he now
You can-
teaches at the school.
Okay. You could go ahead and name them because I don't
Cynthia,
remember much.
Cynthia Walters, who is now Benjamin.
Mhm.
Caris George, Cody's sister.
Paris was in the last shot. Yes, I saw
Yeah,
her.
she taught. I'm trying to remember who else. So anybody else can jump in and see who to remember who was in there.
Yeah, because I don't remember much.
Yeah. All right.
All right, so coming up, we have a picture show. And we all remember back in the day, it took us a while. You take a picture and then you send it to develop. And it took a while for you to see that picture to come back. And you may have gotten in the shot, you may not have gotten in the shot. But when you do see pictures from back in the day, it's just a special feeling. So as we get this slideshow set up, look for people that you know. There's one picture that was on Facebook that has I'm saying our parents, but parents of my classmates in there when they were younger. So look through the picture show and see who you see, and if you even know the events, and who knows, you may even see yourself in there.
Okay, Renee, so I'm just gonna,
Okay, go ahead.
yeah, I'm just gonna tell you when to advance because it's quite a
Okay.
few pictures, so I'm not gonna spend a lot of time. What you see here is the on the uncleared land at the school, and the person I've captioned some of the persons. That's Bertil Fleming crouching there. He was very, very instrumental in helping to construct the school. This was sometime in the early 70s. Okay, let's go on. And this is, I guess, the construction shack that they stored their tools and equipments in. I see a bug in the background, and I would venture to say that we all probably know who that bug belonged to. Okay, I'm sure the Rogers, they had two bugs. I think that's one. Okay, let's move on. I don't know the men. I think Sam Mason is the one right in the doorway. And these are some men as they were, getting the construction going. Let's go on.
That one to look like my father, on the left, but I'm not sure.
Okay,
I can see
I'm
it.
not sure.
okay, let's move on. And these are some men, the ones that I recognize, I identified. You see Brother Enoch Rogers, dearly departed recently, and Sam Mason. I don't know if anyone can recognize the other gentlemen there, but I think they were taking a break from from the work. I see a guy sluxing down, maybe some of Brother Percival's Marby.
Marby.
And there's a gentleman there with his plate in hand. The cooks of the church were, people like my mother, the late Sister Baptist, the late Sister King, and yeah, I can't remember, Sister Hall Pike, and all those ladies. Yeah. Okay, let's go on. Next picture. And this is just some of the ongoing work when they were, like the foundation, etc. And this picture here, I was telling Sister Rogers about it earlier. You can see where I captioned Brother Lynch Rogers. He is there. I don't know. The concrete is coming down and he's doing something. And I said he's a very brave man to work in the construction area with shorts on, but that's Brother Rogers. And then up above, you can see Brother Evans Lewis. And then there's a little girl up there on the slope. I don't know who she is, but she's a very brave girl. I can't recognize her. I'm going to post these pictures on the school page. So anybody, you don't have enough time today to go through them. So, you can look at them at your leisure. And then, if you know who they are, you can, tell us. Okay, next one. Moving on. This is some more work with the men with the forms and the concrete, etc. There's Brother Mason down below.
Sorry.
Worked very hard. And this is when okay. Okay, you can go on. And this is when some more of the the steel frame was going up. Men working hard. Go on. And in this picture, these are some young men. I think they are hoisting up a bucket, I guess, with cement. And I noticed one guy, there are 4 young men. The one that's really, really crouched down, I think that's Derry Jackson.
It looks like him, yes.
That's Derry. The others, I tried to figure out who they are, but I can't, but when I post them, maybe, others may, recognize them and would let us know. Okay, let's go on. And this is when, the frame was up and the building was beginning to, as we say, come to come. Okay, let's go on. Another picture of, the steel frame. There was excitement in the air that, we were getting a school. We're going to be able to move to a bigger space because we were really cramped in the back of the church back in those days. Let's go on. And this is when the blocks were in and it was really starting to take shape. The roof was on. And this is, let's go, move on. There's that bug again. And yes, you see the school. This is the front where it was, really taking shape. You can see the window frame, the forms in the windows, and it was really beginning to look like we were getting somewhere. Okay, let's go on. Another picture of the front. Let's go on. These are some of the ladies, I see a lady there. I couldn't recognize them. They had the tools of their trade, the kitchen detail. And they were leaving, going back to, I don't know, maybe get some more supplies. I don't know, but these were the ladies. They worked very hard cooking for the men. So they had an integral part in the whole construction process of the school. Let's go on. And this is a wider shot. You can see. Now, the school, when it was built, it was one section, and then later on, another section was added to it. So this is just the first section. Okay, let's go on. Now, this was a service they had, I think, once the roof went on, they had like a type of Thanksgiving service. So everybody got dressed in, I guess what we would say, in quotes, their Sunday best. And we had well, it was on a Sunday, so I guess it was a Sabbath Sunday best. And they, they went, I remember it was hot in there. And they had like a service, just a Thanksgiving service that we had gotten so far. Okay, let's go on. This was, I would imagine, after the service. And if you look closely down there at the front, you see two little girls, one in a blue blouse and a white skirt, and another girl in a white blouse and a dark skirt. I don't know if anybody could recognize who they are.
They look like Petty and Wisi.
Yes, because you get the gold star. There's a lady further to the left with an afro. I am thinking that's Sister Constantine.
Looks like her, yes.
Looks like her, right? Yes, yes, like Sister Constantine. I remember back in the day she did have a big afro. Okay, I couldn't recognize any other persons.
That's Basil right behind. It looks like.
Who?
The guy with the fro just to the left of the two girls. Is that Basil?
Basil, right? Oh, it could be.
It does look so. I might be wrong.
Okay, let's move on because we have a long way to go. A short time to get there. And this is, more pictures after the service. See Reese and Petty there again. This young man in the front, I don't know, he's very prominently featured, but I don't recognize him. Anyway, let's move on. And this was the day of the dedication. Everybody came out in their finery, the pathlight. My phone is ringing. Let me put this on silent. The Pathfinders came out, and there's Derry again in the forefront. Derry was a cute little fellow back then. Anyway, and then the Pathfinder in the green, That's Murphy Parker, you know, the man. And then I can see, I recognize the second, I don't remember who the first guy is.
The,
but
the
second
first guy next to Parker looked like Lorenzo.
That's Lorenzo, and that's Carl. That looks like Carl. And
Yeah.
then that's Beebs. That's Beebs, the late Wendell
Wendell.
Carson. That's Beebs. Now, on the other side of Parker, I'm not sure. I don't know if that's DeWitt. I don't know. And then there's Keith. You can see Keith. And then there's Clyde and Samuel. Those are the ones I remember. And then I see Reese. I think that's Reese in her Pathfinder uniform. And I think that's Karen behind. I don't know who the others, I can't, figure them out. But let's move on. And this is the choir was there, the band was there, and everybody came out for the dedication. Let's move on. And these are some of the choir members from back in the day. Most of them, have gone to sleep, waiting for the Lord's return. In the back, the gentleman with the dark shades, that's Brother Jackson. He was the grandfather of Alphonse and Alric, Laverne, and Arlene. The lady to the front, everyone recognizes Sister Eileen Rogers. She's, gone on. Sister Valentine George, she just passed on this year. Next to her is Sister Wallace. Next to her, Sister Miriam Liebert. I'm not sure of her status. Somebody said she may be living off island, so I'm not sure. And then next to her is Sister Vera Fleming, and she's still with us. And then Sister Iona Jackson, who is sleeping, and Sister Agnes Percival, she is also sleeping. These were all powerhouse ladies of the choir. And then of course we can see Brother Linton Lake. He's also sleeping. And next to him, I don't know, we were wondering if that's Brother Lake, but I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think that could be, do you remember we had two brothers that were at Shiloh, when we were in town, and then we moved over. The Johnson brothers, there was LD Johnson, and then his brother JB Johnson. And JB Johnson was also a choir director when we had first and second service. He was second service. And I want to believe that's JB Johnson. But don't quote me. But anyway, let's move on. And this is another shot of the choir. You can see the persons that I mentioned before. Then you can see Elder Royden Fleming. He's still with us. Brother James Parsons, musician, and the famous saw player. He's also gone on. And then there's next to Sister Percival is Sister Melrose Mack, and I think she recently passed. And then next to her is Maisie Harvey, who is still with us. And then behind, next to Sister Fleming, is Sister Hallpike. She was also one of the stalwart cooks. And then you can see Brother Lake. And then when you come over to the left, you can see Brother Heskey with an afro. And then there's also Sister Yvonne Gibbons, and that's all I can recognize. So, but I said I would post them. And
Sister Donovan
Parsons.
Oh, this Arona? I was wondering. And then of course, here is a view of the assembly at the event. And then of course, the choir director emeritus for the Adventist Church of Thomas, Sister Genevieve Rogers, doing what she does best, directing the choir. Yeah. And there's the late Jimmy Rowan in the front row, sitting there with his tie on.
Jimmy.
Yeah, that's Jimmy. That's yeah. The others I don't remember. I can't pick them up. Okay. Next is you can see Glenn Roper, Brother Halswith, and his brother, Brother Lynch. I don't know. I think they were in the Aventones band with those those frilly shirts with the velvet ties. I remember we teased Daddy about that butterfly bow
Back in the
tie.
day.
Yes, back in the day. Okay, let's move on because we have a long way to go. And this is as the platform personnel. I think that is the stuff called the Joseph making a presentation. Also seen in the picture is Pastor Bien Josiah, and the gentleman in the white suit is Dr. Harold Hazlett. He was the Commissioner of Education at the time. Okay, let's move on.
Pastor Schillenford on the far right.
Yeah, but he's in the other pictures, so we're just gonna go on. And the pictures, this lady in the red, I am wondering if that's Sister Carmen Lake.
Yeah, that's look like Auntie Carmen.
Okay, and
Yes,
then
that's her.
I didn't want to caption it because I wasn't sure, but I said it looked like her. And then of course we all know the then principal, Mr. Charles Ignacio Rogers.
Uncle Tuck.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Is that Michelle?
Huh?
Is that Michelle? I heard somebody say Uncle Tuck.
Darnell.
Oh, okay. And then of course there's Pastor Ed Brathwaite. We all know him. Hard worker. And then there's Pastor Bien Josiah as well. Some of them men I don't recognize. Okay, let's move on. Yes, somebody's asking. This was a school dedication. And there's Pastor Schillenford. I have captioned it, Dr. Harold Hazlett, Pastor Eric John Murray, Pastor Bien Josiah, and down front, I think he was probably doing some recordings or something, his brother Leonard Flaherty. Yeah, okay.
Oh, and before we go, all those pictures there with the construction of the building was given to us by Neil Ruan. He collected them, I think, from his dad.
Yes, Brother Ron always had a camera, whether it was a camera or a video camera. And now we see how important it is to have these things recorded. So sometimes when people kind of like fuss at me and they call me paparazzi because I'm always trying to take pictures, this is the reason why I do it, because there's some of the same people who fuss at me when there's an event. You remember you had taken a picture? No, so but anyway. And now this is we are finished with the construction and dedication. This is a picture of Heather, my sister. In 1970, she was a 5th grade student. Now, do you remember those chairs that had, you could fold the table down or you could, physically remove it? So those are the chairs that we had, those famous blue chairs in 5th grade. That's Heather, boy. Boy, the innocence. But anyway, let's move on. Now, this was Mrs. Morton's 4th grade class. Hilma is in that class, and Judith Ray is also in that class. So I don't know if she can recognize. The persons I recognized that I captioned was Juliet Berg. I'm not using married names because Juliet Berg, Merlin Hodge, Stephanie Smith, Hilma Griffin, Judith Ray, and Leslie Bridges. I don't know if Judy, you know any other persons that you can recognize real quick?
Charlie, isn't that person in the front Charlene? Charlene Berg? Next to
I
me.
don't know.
It could be. Or there's Juliet Berg, but at one time they were both in the same class.
Well, then it could be Charlene then.
And this girl, the tall girl in the back, in the second row, I think her name was Carol. And the guy next to her is this guy Vaden.
Oh yes, I remember Vaden
Yes,
George.
that's Vaden. I remember some of the other people, but I don't remember their names. Like the little guy in the front in the red.
Isn't it
His
Arthur?
name was Albert?
Is it Arthur? I think it's Arthur.
Arthur, something with an A.
Yeah, I think it's
Yes,
Arthur.
yes.
Okay, all
Something
right.
with an A.
You know
yes.
your class. You know your class. You know your class.
And there are probably some more. The picture is not the best quality, so it's a little challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right, let's move on. And that's Hilma in front of our house, going to school sometime in the early 70s. She sent it to me, so she's not gonna kill me. Okay, let's go. Now this is Mrs. Morton's class of 1972. This was the first sixth grade class in the new school. I'm in that picture, but I'm not going to tell you where I am. And people in that class was, oh, good heavens, my phone is keep ringing. Janice Ray's in that class, Philip Benjamin, Silas Rogers, Thelma Parsons, Terry Woodcock, Jimmy Harrigan, Brett Lewis, Joyce Gottlieb, Flourice Ritter, Julian was in the class at the time, Sylvester was in the class at the time, Clyde was in the class at the time. I don't know, Keith was in the class, but I'm not seeing
Keith was
Keith.
in our class, and you missed
Yeah,
me, Hester. I'm right there
Oh, yeah.
next to Thelma, and there's
Oh, yeah,
Joyce, and then
yeah,
Thelma, then me. And
yeah,
the
you. Oh,
girl at the end, that's Brett.
Brett. Yeah, that's Brett Lewis. Yeah, she now lives in New Zealand. Yeah, so
And that's
that's
Joycelyn next to me.
oh, Joycelyn Joseph.
Yeah, looks like her.
Wow. Okay, and then
And at the
there's-
end is that Janice at the end next to Celeste.
yeah, and then that's yeah. So some of them I still don't remember. Oh, that's Richard Pitts.
Richard
there.
Pitts.
Yeah, in front of Janice. Yeah, that's Richard Pitts.
And Hartley's the first one. Hartley, then
that's
in the row.
Hartley?
Hartley, then Julian.
That's Julian. Yeah, and it looks like Clyde.
Clyde.
I see Bobby there looking out. I don't know. Who that.
And
That's
Terry
Jim-
Woodcock next to Sylvester.
That's Jimmy Harrigan next to Terry.
Oh, next to Terry.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Remember
Okay.
Jimmy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on. We got a long way to go. And this is this is Principal Hodge Renee at her eighth grade graduation in 75. And then I don't know, Renee, I don't know what year that was when you're in that
I don't know what year that was.
but your skirt was a little short, but anyway. we're growing kids that your parents couldn't keep up with the legs.
No, it was
But
in the
you know-
70s. It was in the 70s
was
because
in
Yeah,
the
because you see my dress for the graduation. So that's what the style.
70s. Okay, buddy. Let's
Yes.
move.
Moving right along.
And this is a picture of our school secretary at the time, Sister Evadne Ray, with her 4 children at the time. There was Judy. I think this was at Judy's graduation. There's Judy showing, Janice and Jasmine. Janelle hadn't made her appearance yet. She came on a few years after. I think Judy, you were in high school when Janelle came along, no?
she was born in
Sorry.
July of 77, and I left for college that same.
Oh, wow. Okay, let's move on.
Oops,
And
sorry.
that's my
Sorry.
8th grade graduation.
Yes, this is the 8th grade graduation, and Judy was the this was the first official promotion ceremony we had, I guess, since we moved to the new school. I guess, we had to do all things new. So this is Judy giving her speech. And then on the platform, we have Pastor J.C. Shillingford. We have Miss Janie Tuitt, yes, for whom the school is named in Savannah. And then we have Sister Huldah Joseph. I think she may have been I don't know, what was her role? Was she with the school board, or I know she was in education. At one point, she was a superintendent. I don't know what was her role there. And then there was, the principal, Mr. Charles E. Rogers. And yeah, so that was the first graduation we ever had at the school, official. So let's move on. And these are pictures of Reese, 6th, 7th, and 9th grade. I don't think she changed that much, but that's Reese. And then this is a picture of when they had a little reunion in the Maryland area with Mr. Morton and some of the former students that were there. You see Carol Shillingford, Heather, Lisa Ritter, Judy Thorpe, Reese Lake, Petty Woodcock, Thelma Parsons, Flourice Ritter, Janice Shillingford, and Sandra Jarvis.
This was Mr. Morton's 60th birthday,
Oh,
Oh.
and it was a surprise.
now this picture here, I could only pick out, a few of the students. So I don't know if Judy, they are. I picked out Judy, I picked out Bridges, Evelyn
Yeah.
Cepeda,
I know
and
the
then
names
little
of
artist
everybody.
Morton.
Yeah,
don't-
except one girl. I think the girl next to me, I don't know her name. But yeah, in this 10th grade class, that's when they stopped moving people along. So Leslie and I were the last two from the original first grade group that we started with that lasted in 10th grade. This was our 10th grade class. And after this, we had to go to high school. And many people left for high school before that. They left for 9th grade too. So yeah, so we were the last holdouts. And after this, they closed it down until the next group. Yeah.
Okay, this is Lisa Ritter, her 8th grade graduation in 76. Okay, moving right along. And this is Renee Hodges' class at the legislature for a field trip. And I think the aide was the late Sister Frederica Lake. I
Yeah.
can't recognize the students because they,
Yeah,
but
one,
any-
the third one from Sister Lake is Constantine.
oh,
And I'm not going to attempt to call. Sheldon is also in there. But we'll move on.
okay. I'm trying to. And this is the class at the legislature on a field trip. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. And this is her class again, 686. And
That's
I don't.
you have Unum Pen. Who else?
Jeffrey, this is your class?
No, this isn't my class, but I know some of the kids. Unum is second. Unum is second from the left. That's Darren Lake all the way down to the bottom.
Darren
First,
Lake.
first on the left. First on the left. One of the Salem boys.
The
look,
Walters
look,
down there.
That's Courtney Walters.
Mhm.
Michael Stanislas.
Michael
That look like
Stanislas.
that look like
That's a
Pastor
Heskey.
Allen's son.
That's Heskey. Yeah, that's what his name is. Marcia
Kevin.
brother, little brother, Kevin.
Yeah.
That's
And
that's a
that's
Heskey
Garen?
right there.
Garen?
I don't know that's
No.
Garen.
No, that ain't Gavin class.
That's
That
not
look like
Garen?
Renata.
He was in one
That
of my
look like-
classes.
Next to Stanislas is a Renata, I think it is.
Renata,
And-
yes.
Yeah, Renata.
yeah. And that's all I recognize. I ain't recognize anybody else.
We need to move on because they got a lot more slides to go. Okay. All right. Next. And this is Renee's class.
That's my class. That's my class. Well, class in 1995.
Oh,
That's Jenny?
Yes, ma'am. That's my class. Look, Janelle on the end. Next
Yep,
to her
and I
is
see you
Namala
too.
And Shirley. And Shirley.
and Shirley. Yeah. I
Mhm.
think I see Devin Leonard in the front there.
Yeah, I used to do a
Juliet.
nutrition fair every year with my class, and the school would come to our class too.
That tall boy in the front is David Thompson.
I don't even know who these people are. Okay, let's move on. We got a long way to go. This is a nutrition fair again. I see my mother in the back there.
And Sister Roper.
Oh yeah, that's Sister Roper by the door. Yes.
I see me all the way to the left.
And this is her class performing in the fair. I guess they were.
You see you, Jenny?
Janelle.
I ain't see me in this one. I seen Janelle.
You're
and I
not the
seen
one there
Namala.
next to the apple? That's not
Oh,
you?
yeah. Oh. It looks so. It could look so. Yes, that's me. Who's that next to me?
Okay, let's move on.
Shirley.
Their props, and this is Carlos Robles. And they look very engaged. That's Carlos again, and I think that's I don't know his real name, but we call him Ashanti. I don't know. He was into agriculture or so, agronomy. So that's I think his name is Ashley George, I think. Now these are some teachers at the school. I don't know. I know some of them, but others they came along after I left. So, if anybody, I know Vida Charles. I know.
Go from
Brother
go from the
Donovan.
go,
Brother
go
Donovan to the far
yeah,
right.
go
Your
start from
right.
the front. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay, well,
Mr.
yeah,
Donovan.
Donovan.
because I don't know some of them. so.
Donovan, Maritza's father.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
Next to Vadney.
and then
Mr.
Mr.
Rogers.
Rogers, Vida, Charles.
Charles.
That's Mr. Edwards.
Oh,
And then
you-
go back in the top, Mr. Morton, and that's
Heskey.
Heskey. Then that's Reed, I believe.
oh, Lorna Reed.
Lorna Reed.
Yeah. Who is this person next to her?
She taught us Spanish.
Oh, and who's next to her?
That's
Miss
Pauline.
Gums. Miss Gums.
Oh, that's Miss Gums.
My
Oh, there.
favorite teacher.
Okay,
Mhm.
and this is the English. This is hi, what's her name again? Oh my. She
She
taught us
just passed away.
English. Oh yeah?
Yeah, she just passed away this year. It will
Oh,
come to
no.
me. I'm sorry.
What's the
That's
name of
Eugene's
Heskey
tall
too?
sister.
Oh, and then sister,
Yeah.
and then Miss
Oh.
Olga Edwards.
The Scully's sister was Janet Michael.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I did not
Wow.
know she passed either.
No, this class, I don't know. I couldn't recognize any of the children. So
So we could just scroll through these class pictures.
yeah, yeah. This is some more. So, and these were students who had graduated in 1984. These would be in 1989, 93.
My class.
That's June.
And
June.
I see Frida in that class.
Jonathan, all of them. She. Wow. Amal. Simon. Frida.
Frida, that's Samia. Okay, this is the program for the first graduating class, 81. And then these are the students in that, oh, these are the students in that class, 81.
10th grade, when they were in 10th grade.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah,
Miss
yeah.
Herdman was the homeroom teacher, Miss Herdman. Miss Bustle.
Oh, but I don't see her picture.
Yes, but that was a picture of my ex-husband there, not me.
Oh, but it says Mrs. Oh, they put Mrs. instead of Mr.?
Yes,
No,
the second one next to Mr. Maynard, that's my ex-husband, Dave.
Oh.
He was the business manager and he was on the photos. But yes, I was their homeroom teacher in 10th grade.
All right.
My first year that I was there.
That's Mr. Mooney, right? Wasn't that Mr. Mooney?
Right,
next-
Mr. Mooney. The next one was Les. He was the PE teacher. Then the lady that was in the Mrs. Roon in the and Mr. Mooney in the reading program, and then Diane, and then Mr. Donovan.
And who's
And
Mr.
I
Donovan?
can't think of Seaman. Can't think of his first name, but he taught math. He was a student missionary with Les, did PE.
It was Mike Seaman.
Yes, that's it.
Okay, let's move along. Moving along. Edwin Cepeda, that was one quiet fellow.
Yes.
And
This is the first graduating class.
hmm. And this is Bonnie, and I don't know, is that one of the Severin boys?
Yeah, that looks like
Yeah.
Sam.
Okay. These were proposing to us. And then these were
Second year.
class of 19. They graduated in 83, I think. 82.
82. Yeah, Michelle was 82.
Okay. And then there's Denver, and then my sister Hilary.
Yes.
This is them again at their graduation.
And Jenny,
this is
yes, 83. She's working
Wa-
tonight. That's why she's not on. I've chatted with her today.
There's Wanda.
Jenny's hunt.
Yes.
And this was, I don't know, what was this, introductory night or something for the class of 83?
Yes, it was.
All they needed were their lamps to keep them trimmed and burning. Or anyway. And
The
this was the
unforgettables.
really, really. Yeah,
Yes.
this was, I think this is the largest class to date. I don't know how many students were in the class. Somebody who was in the class?
28.
28. I
28.
don't think I had anybody. I don't think.
Nope, no one's come close.
But when they were in 7th or 8th grade, there were 2 classes because there were so many.
Correct. Right, that's right.
Yeah, see people like I haven't seen in years, like Raja and this Julie and Annette, Marva, Michelle, Ronnie,
Arlene.
Yeah.
And this
yeah.
this is their 40th year coming up.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
83.
Oh, that's
20
Carolee. Is that Carolee?
2023.
Yeah, that's Carolee right there. Carolee next to Roger.
Raja, okay.
Michelle and Aldi to address.
Who's that
Webster.
next to Nanny's? That's another Severin or Small?
That's
small.
Small.
Keith Small.
Keith Small, yeah.
You know the
That's Ronnie Wilcock in front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Severins, you know, they had a monopoly on the X's in the
Lulu.
last.
Lulu
Yeah,
lives-
so that was This was a good class. I and then these see Karami and Leonid and
The late Bernice Huggins next to Muriel.
Oh yeah, Bernice. Wow.
And Andrew, late Andrew. Gabriel.
And Lexi Davies, who is now a pilot.
And is that Marinice next to him? I think she's
Yeah.
gone. Yeah, she's gone. Okay, let's move on. And then these were the students that would be, these are the same students, Carmen and Linda McCarthy. I see Davy Benjamin, who's also gone, Leonid. And there's Herdman again. Oh, that's Dale. That's Dale next to Mr. Rogers, right? Dale Benjamin, Nora. I think that's Dale. Wilma. I think that's Wilma.
Oh, the teacher next to
Yeah.
Mr. Rogers. Oh, what was her name?
I think it's Wilma.
It could be. She taught in elementary. She was only there for 1 year.
Yeah, okay, moving along. And that's the same class again, Carmen and Davy, Linda, Eugene, Tessame. It's the same class again. They're, I guess it was seniors with their ties. The men, the boys are trying to be cool. Yeah, okay, moving along. And that's them together now. Yeah. Now, I don't know I don't know these anybody could name
Wayne Joseph.
Wayne
on the
Joseph,
left.
Anthony
Anthony
Monroe,
Terrell, Michelle Vanterpool,
Michelle Vanterpool,
Celia Rogers.
Celia Rogers,
Marvin.
oh gosh, what's his
Anthony
name?
Terrell.
Wayne is what
Joseph.
other say?
No,
Wayne
Wayne
Joseph.
Joseph.
Anthony
Yeah,
Terrell.
Yeah,
and
they're
that's
the small
Anthony.
class.
That's tall. Anthony used to play in the
That's
thing with us
Stallone.
too.
Stallone.
Stallone, Anthony
Malone.
Stallone. Yeah,
Malone.
Malone. We used to call him
Yeah.
Stallone. Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
Walwyn.
Walwyn, that's right. Yeah.
the guy Joseph. He was the one that had the twin brothers.
Yeah. Bert
Yes.
and Ernie.
I know the twins, but I don't. He's young. I don't know. Okay, moving along.
They graduated 2 years before us.
This is a class with the little
So
Jeffrey
that's my
class.
class. Before I
That's
joined
our
them.
class. That's our
Yeah.
class. Look me there.
Yeah.
That's me.
Look, Brenda, Mohammed,
That's Mohammed, Asha,
Pamela,
Scott,
Misha, Roxanne.
Monique,
little girl.
Kareem,
What is
Jonette,
Linda's last name?
Huh?
Linda, Scott, Strickland.
Yeah, she's passed. She's gone.
Linda Strickland
Janelle
passed?
Yeah, she's gone.
Which one is that?
Wow. Linda
Which one is
Strickland
that?
was a Linda Strickland was a white girl. Then
Next to
Mohammed.
Cindy.
Oh, okay, okay.
Next is Cindy.
Yeah, yeah. I'm in contact with her mother. Yeah, she's gone.
Janine.
Wow. Lynn.
Brenda, that's
That's
Gilchrist.
Kareem.
That's Cassandra Cooper. That's Janella.
Cleon.
Leishan Wallace. Brenda Gilchrist. Soji.
Kamal Raymond.
John,
Claudette.
Danielle.
Claudette.
That's a lot of
Claudette.
people.
Pam.
Yeah, well, we were like 31 people all
Aisha.
the way up.
Yeah, man, that was a big class.
Janine
Yeah.
Benton passed. John Lewis.
Benton Pass?
Aldit. Yeah.
Leon.
Lornette Skelton.
Kamal
Llewellyn.
Raymond.
Who's next
Yeah.
to Cleon and next to Alistair,
Next to-
between, in the middle? Between
Is
Alistair
that
and
Mr. Jonathan Lewis? Daniel.
John
That's
Lewis
Daniel.
at the
That's
top.
Daniel. That's Daniel. Next to John,
Archer.
that's Daniel. Archer.
Fine, yes.
Cleon Martin. Cleon on island right now.
And that's Al this, right? Al?
Yeah.
Albert next
Between
to
Janelle
Lornette.
and, is that Stephanie?
Who's
Jane.
between Alistair and Cleon on the bottom row? Jeffrey?
Okay, we gotta move. We gotta move. On. We gotta move on. We gotta move on. The next picture. Okay.
That is me.
Same class, a different row.
That's Tisha now. Renee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Tisha here now.
Huh?
This is
Stephanie.
5th grade.
Fifth grade with Miss
Stephanie
Williams.
Duzet.
Tisha
Oh
there.
yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. We're moving along, Sister Williams.
Same class.
That's our class again. Our
Yeah,
class
I don't
again.
know if they were giving out prizes for the amount of for the class with the most pictures. 92 would get it. Let's move on.
Yeah.
We run
Same
things.
class, different
So,
year.
we get it pictures. Our class is the class that change everything, anyways. But,
Yeah.
it's all-
Yes. Is
Our
that
class
Jerome
again.
there?
Oh,
Is
Yeah,
that
that's Jerome.
That's
Yeah.
us again there.
Yeah.
Tisha.
I've seen that picture before.
Yeah.
And then
Angie,
Zip there
Aldit,
and
Mela, Monique, Brenda, Gabby, Sherian.
Who's the guy in the back with the glasses next to you, Jeffrey?
Wendell Williams.
Oh,
Wendell
I
Williams,
remember
yeah.
him. Oh,
see
okay.
Scotty there, boy. He was with that
He's
kid.
in here. Yeah, that kid and play haircut. Yep.
Okay, let's move on. Class of 92, boy. They really.
This is class trip.
93.
No class studies.
Check out the shades. Check out the shades.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's in Boston.
Oh, I went to Boston.
Yeah.
And there they are again. Moving on. Again. I think somebody was having a snow fight in the bottom picture there.
Yeah, it was like a trace of snow, but yeah. For some
What
of them,
month y'all went there?
I don't even know what month we went. Whatever time class trip was allowed.
It was like late April,
It was
Okay,
cold
moving
for us.
on.
June, April, May, something around there.
Oh, my
And
long
this-
skirt.
and this Stanford, he's also gone.
That's Pastor Walters in the other picture.
Man is his name?
Manning.
Stanford Manning.
Terrence.
Manning.
Terrence. Terrence.
was cut off in that picture.
Pastor Walters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Somebody said the shades were Puerto Rico. No, this is, I
It
don't
probably
know.
was Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I don't know. I see,
That's-
I mean,
that's-
who's the
Ambrose.
person with glasses? I didn't recognize.
Ambrose.
Huh?
Oh,
Sonny
yeah.
Ambrose.
LaShawn Ambrose.
Okay. Oh, she was the one that sent me the pictures. Okay, she sent me some pictures. All right. Okay, moving along. 92 yet again. Graduation.
Is that Carol Shillingford in the picture on the top?
No, that
No.
is Tasha Lake, I think. That look like Tasha. Yeah, Tasha, Leora, Natalie. That might have been the school choir. I don't know. Keep going, girl. I know you got a lot of 92 because I sent you a whole bunch.
Yeah. Yeah, see Pammy with her parents, the late,
Mhm.
late good people.
Gloria and Roy.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, let's move on. Now this
This
is
is Jenny class.
Rebecca's class.
No,
Oh,
ma'am.
okay, Rebecca.
I
Sorry.
95.
Sorry.
Cosette back there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
That's Lan,
Cosette.
is that Lance and Walter?
Yeah,
Curtis.
Curtis and
Okay.
Chad Francis, Oren, Esther Charles, Rebecca, and Tashina, Joseph.
Yes, those that were in second grade
Jacob
were
Lake.
in my class.
Chad.
I had them in my class.
Okay, let's move on. We got a long way to go. All right.
That's a nice picture.
There's
Yeah,
Rebecca. That's one of
Rebecca.
the white boys, right?
Curtis.
Yeah.
Curtis.
From my class again.
Okay.
Woohoo.
Is that Dutton?
It looks
Yep.
like Dutton.
It's
yeah.
him. Kurt Williams. The older Kittel.
I guess they would have a class trip or something.
Yeah, when you start having real class trips. Yep.
What is that the Merle's daughter?
Yeah, Denise.
Denise.
Denise,
Yeah, she's
Siobhan, George.
Okay. I see the Ray girl, what's her name? Jeanette.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
this is
sorry.
Okay.
Pastor Brown daughter, I forgot her name.
Oh, Keisha.
No, that's not Keisha. Is that Keisha? I don't know.
Yeah, that's Keisha.
That's Keisha.
Okay.
And Maura.
Okay, I don't know what class is this. I don't know. I can't recognize anybody.
Oh, that's Trinette class. Look, Trinette.
Oh, where's Trinette? Oh, that's okay.
The one acting a fool.
Damn, Miss Trinette with a big smile.
Righty.
This is our
I guess
cosmetology class with Miss
was
Benjamin.
Arlene's class with
Yep.
cosmetology. Oh, bless her heart. Yeah, that's nice. I don't know
This
who
is
would be.
senior class?
Yeah, this is when we were up on the swings when we
Oh,
didn't have
little
class.
pictures. Yeah, moving along.
Trinette, what are you doing in the corner with a boy?
Oh, Lord.
That's the Freitas.
Who's a young man? I didn't recognize him.
Denzel DeQuator, Maxine's brother. I don't know if you know Maxine.
Shirley.
No.
I don't know. Oh, that's Chelsea.
That's
That's Chancellor Staff, yeah.
That's the girl.
Nikita.
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 Okay. Yeah.
Look at these faces.
I see Jerice there in Renette's class. That's the only one I think I recognize.
Jerice,
Is that
what's her name
Kissy
for
back?
Miss for Principal Brown, daughter. I forget her name.
Jenem.
Jenem, yeah. What's your name for Rogers?
I don't know. I see Caris and I see Venetia. I don't know who the others are.
The one in the white blouse is Alia Law. She's the one that did the introduction this morning.
Okay. All right, moving on.
That's a 2019.
I guess they were happy, they were celebrating. I don't know where that picture was. I don't know where that is. Anyway, let's move on. I know that's Angelica back there, right? In the, I don't recognize.
Angelica.
This is the guy that did the mission story today.
Yeah, the one in the middle, James. And then in the back, is Willa.
Willa. She played
John Rollins. John Rollins is next to her.
And the guy there, that's Sigoja, right? I know his mother. That's I don't know his first name. And this is the class of 2021.
And the girl in the picture in the back, she was away, and so she was on Zoom while graduation was going on.
I think she was in what, Anguilla?
Anguilla, yeah. So they got the
And then
picture
put her
of there in the
picture.
back when they were taking the class picture.
Yeah.
And this is the class of, we just graduated.
The newest alumni in the group.
Yep. And those with the white around the collar, those are those that
National honor.
graduated under
Later.
society.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's a day honor society students.
And
We almost at the
it-
end, right, Hassan?
yeah. Yeah, we just need to speed it up. This is when they were doing decorations for the tree in the park. This was when they had a Christmas program with the puppeteers, which was a very good program. Paris was the producer and Marsha was the puppeteer. She, taught them how to work the Muppets.
Awesome.
See some other pictures, banquets, and let's keep going. Just keep rolling. Yeah.
Beatrice, that was Alex Wallen.
Mr. Lake, he's teaching Bible now at the school this year.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. That was Miss Laws.
Mhm.
That was my sister's class. That's my
You in there for some reason, Trinette. I see you.
The Jerry calls in the front, and that's it was my sister's birthday.
Yep,
And
it was
so-
my birthday.
Yeah, I'll have a little
Darren. Wow.
And this is somebody's classy, Jasmine.
Jasmine.
And I really recognize because there's a friend Josie. Is it Josie?
Josie, yeah, in the back.
Yeah, kudos to her. And then is that Utah and oh boy, what's the guy's name?
Josie,
Abraham. Is
Josie
that
Pat.
Abraham?
I think
Next,
Josie passed earlier
Yeah.
this year or last year.
That's
Josie?
Utah, and that's Casey next to Jasmine.
Yes,
No, Josie
yes,
is
that is
there.
Casey.
Look, Vernice Huggins. Look, Althea Benjamin. Look, Laurie Mason.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy. Oh yeah, that's Bonnie. Okay, that's cool.
Utah Smith.
This was a singing group.
Amaral.
And there's many faces.
Oh my
Many
goodness.
faces of Jenny.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Gabby.
What? Once it posts on Facebook, it's free for everybody.
All right, buddy.
I don't know
Wow,
the two
son.
the small picture, but this is Vaughn Jim. That's Joanne Warner's son. She sent me that picture.
The one
I
with
don't
the
know
emblem is
anybody
Ralston.
that two smaller guy, the small I don't know.
Ralston.
This
Gabby,
is-
you see us up?
Yes, man. Can't miss me. I always cold in a sweater.
Moving along.
Wow.
I
The
wow.
dresses.
Boy, I don't know, boy. Keep those lamps trimmed
Wow.
up.
That's sixth grade graduation.
That's surely them class.
Those lamps.
class,
those
Tanya.
That's the
lamps.
class. No, that's the class before us. That's class of 94.
That's surely them class.
Dale Maynard.
No.
No, Frida them class. Samia, Tekla,
Yeah.
Shay. Oh wow.
Who is this? Is this
Dale Maynard.
Yes.
When he took the class to Puerto
The
Rico.
teacher.
Yeah.
Annex.
Kezia.
Buton, Frida, Simone. Easier.
Okay, moving along.
Same crew.
Group.
Kenny.
That's one of the Dixon boys. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, this is that same group.
This must be the class trip.
That's Frida?
Probably. Yeah,
Frida
that's
and
class
Simone.
of 94.
Tawi.
Okay, moving along. Same group, like in the Megan's Bay.
That's Newton.
Yeah.
One of a smaller Severin.
Oh,
One of
it's a
them.
sharp boy.
King and Queen at banquet.
Hot.
Who were these?
Williams and
Williams
Chevron George.
Javon George.
Oh. Yeah. All right, moving along.
Janine, Jenny, Juliet, Hopeful.
Oh. Okay, moving along. I think they met up someplace. I think it was at GC or something.
Gen 2
Somebody
class.
sent it to me. I don't remember who. Okay. He said we should just move along.
Lahati, Muriel.
Okay, let's just keep moving. Let's just keep moving. No food stuff till they pass the Walter. Okay.
Wow.
You see yourself, Jenny?
And then there were two.
That's Jenny Centerface.
Gonna pass here.
Yes. Oh wow.
Kevin?
Was that Tony? That's Anthony. That's Tony Abraham.
Yeah, I think that was Kevin.
Sammy.
Yes, Sammy.
That was Kevin.
Coleman. Coleman.
Perfect combination. Shona.
And Jasmine.
Wow. Yep.
Denise and Kenley. That's Kenley and me.
Denise, Kenny. Shona, and Nettie. Denise, Santa
It looked like they
How was that
practicing for
prophecy?
International Day. Yeah.
Baby. Those are the days when I used to hang out. Oh wow.
Oh, cheerleaders.
They have
That's
that
when we
picture.
had
too?
cheerleaders. Yeah.
Wow. I remember posing with that picture.
Look, Shirley.
Spoon. These are the. If I know Shirley, she probably won. Shirley was a very determined girl the other day.
Yep.
Yes,
Ralston again and Garen.
And the Williamses.
And these are 4 students there now at Oakwood.
Just went up there.
Yeah. This was the HASA Fun Run. Some of the alumni participating. They even got me out. Anyway, let's move on. And I think these are the final pictures. This is the late Dora Morton, that everybody's favorite picture. Her husband, her husband, Mr. Morton, with his ever-present camera. And
Yes.
Lieutenant Governor Tregenza Roche, who was their student back in the day. Yeah, Mr. Morton, oh boy, and this is the end. Thanks to everyone who submitted pictures. I'm going to post them so you can, look at them, at your leisure.
Listen, please don't do that. What are you doing?
Alrighty, thanks again.
All right. Okay, as we proceed through the program, just a check. If your mic was on to give us names, let's mute our mics back. Mute our mics again. We're going to have special music by Jaconias James, who attended the school.
Coming right up. Coming right up. Here we go. And that's it.
All right. We're going to move quickly through the program. We have a video presentation with reflections from former teachers on the island. So we're going to cue that up now.
My name is Gordon Williams. I've been at the Seventh-day Adventist School, St. Thomas St. John Seventh-day Adventist School for 31 years.
My name is Genevieve Hodge Rogers. For a few years, I taught 7th and 8th grade math. And for many years, I taught 11th and 12th grade math. Altogether, it's about 15 years of volunteer teaching at a school.
My name is Vernon Lake. I have been at the Adventist School for probably 11 or 12 years, and it has always been a wonderful experience.
My name is Loretta Lee Greenaway, and I came to this island in '96 and to the school the same year. I've been here from then until 2019 when I retired. But like I said, I'm still here, so to speak, because I come in on occasion to volunteer, so the students, even the new ones, still know Mrs. Greenaway.
My name is Deanne Heskey. I taught 7 years in this school. I spent 2 years teaching 3rd grade, and I have a degree in secondary education and English, so I taught from 8th to 12th grade English.
My name is Vinetta Osborne. I have been working at the school for quite some years. I'm retired now just for a few months, but I've worked for 19 and a half years. It was a good experience.
Doreen Nips Hendrickson. I've taught for 21 years. I volunteered, taught for 21 years, helped to the 7, 8, 10, and 11 graders at the Seventh-day Adventist School.
I started as an elementary teacher at grade 2. Then I was moved to grade 3. Parents requested that I move with their students to grade 4. And I spent a few years at grade 4. And then at grade 6 for a number of years. At grade 6, I became the vice principal and still a teacher. Then because of a little situation with the health and physical education, I was asked to do physical ed at the junior high and the high school level. And from there, I taught math, social studies at the upper level. So I was there doing so many things. Once teachers are absent, I was the one who was filling in.
I was also vice chairman of the school board and eventually chairman of the school board. During those years, the school was being built. So I had the opportunity to help to lead out in the building of our structure.
I taught every grade in the elementary, and I also did a half a year with 7th grade math. I did life science for 1 year at 8th grade and biology for 2 years at 10th grade.
I enjoyed, basically from when I came, I started working with the elementary grades and I was assigned to 4th grade. But as the years progressed and the need became greater, I did several more functions. I taught 7th grade, I taught computer, I taught literature in the upper grade. So it was quite a bit of wonderful experience working here at the school.
The best memories I have is the way the students related to each other. I noticed that they showed great love for each other, and I really admire that in the students.
That's a hard question because I had so many interests, so many exciting things that went on. Social studies is a living subject, and I remember the times when I used to do what I call projects, but I used to make them the ones that the students would be the ones getting the information and doing presentations, things like that, especially in the 9th grade.
One of the things is that I saw students succeed, those who were struggling. And because of my encouragement, working with them, sometimes using my lunchtime or after school to assist them in math or any other area. And it was a joy to see their success.
I like to think of butterflies, and I observe the 7th graders, when 7th and 8th graders, when they come in for the first time, and you notice such a miracle, the maturity by the time they reach to 11th grade. It gives me such joy, because when they came in at 7th grade, they were so afraid, they were standoffish. They really didn't know what to expect. Some of them came from other schools. Some of them resented coming to Seventh-day Adventist school. They wanted to go to the public school. But when you see that change, by the time they reach to 11th grade, they're family. We love each other. They're friendly. They're outgoing. I've seen cases that came here with such difficulty, depressed, suicidal. And by the time they came to 11th grade, you couldn't believe it was the same person.
I remember special events like when we had Christmas concerts, and we invited the public in to see the students sing and recite poetry and acted in plays. It's a good thing because we ourselves found out that students were talented in certain areas that we didn't know before. So it was an eye-opener for me, and I like that. I was also in charge of a courtesy week where we brought guests in to tell the children about the different aspects of courtesy and why they should be courteous. It was good. We loved it.
So many. But I want to mention one particular. I find that when I socialize with the students in play, that we develop excellent rapport. The students are always near and dear to you, and they have no issues in talking to you about anything, so that their education in itself excels because of the closeness that they have with me as a teacher. This also happened when we did the project planting and growing vegetables. And so the students all got excited about that. I started this in a more distinct way when I went to 3rd grade, and you find some of the other students from the other classes wanted to plant also, and so they would come in and get their seeds and get their little pots, and then when they have grown to a certain height, they would take them home and saw them even bear, and that was exciting for the students and brought me a lot of joy also.
Two of the better memories that I've had were one when I came into a class and the students were educationally challenged, and the joy I received seeing on their faces when they began to understand the concepts and then use them practically, not only in accomplishment of the schoolwork, but in the life skills that they needed to manage. That was really exciting experience. And I used that to further the way that I instructed students thereafter. The objective being, make them useful, productive, as well as knowledgeable, how to get the resources and manipulate it to accomplish their desired goals.
The pride I take when I see my students and their accomplishment. Several of them are nurses. I even have a male that's a nurse. I'm a nurse by profession. So the pride that I feel when I see them, they never know that the joy that they bring to my heart. It was worth it all.
I made it one of my main responsibility if students get sick and they have to go to the hospital and to have surgery. I will always be there with them before they have surgery, pray with them and encourage them to trust in the Lord, because He will see them safely through. And also when a number of students, because of crusades, we got involved in crusades, and a number of students give themselves completely to Jesus.
It's a small setting, a smaller school, and the students will get more individualized attention. If a child gets out of hand from early, you could, clip it, work with the parents, and, come up with strategies to help the child or the children.
Well, I would tell them that the school, number one, it's accredited. Number two, it's a safe place considering what's going on in the public schools. That they meet teachers who are really warm and, who like children, who themselves have children.
I would tell them from my own personal experience that they should become involved. They should know the strengths and weaknesses of their child, and therefore they should become involved with the teachers, always be available, have a mindset to see their child succeed, and they will. But they must be involved. The teachers must be familiar with them. They should be on a one-to-one, that they can be easily contacted without any problems. And they shouldn't wait for the teachers to contact them. They themselves should also make contact regularly with the teacher. And they would see each other as a friend, somebody ready to have a success in their child's life.
I have watched students mature and grow and have just developed into beautiful, well-behaved young people. I've interviewed some of the students using their life story in the school as the mission story for that day. And the transformation that has taken place is amazing. And they will tell you all that has happened during their tenure here and why they decided. Some have even decided eventually to get baptized and to give their hearts to Jesus Christ.
The advice I would give is, why are you still waiting and doubting? The school offers a lot. It offers good academics. It offers good social skills. It offers just about everything else you can find in any school. But the Christian component that it offers is more rewarding, because once the student catches a vision of what he can or she can be with God's help, it settles them and it teaches them not only to achieve more economically, but it also teaches them how to relate better, and their actions make a better impact in making society more productive and engaging for others who follow. So yes, parents should consider sending their children here because the education will be totally well-rounded, mentally, physically, and spiritually.
It is a good school. It is a safe environment, a small setting, and we have loving, caring teachers who will take an interest in your son or daughter in order for them to success, not only academically, but spiritually.
I would tell them that if they send their child or their children to our school, that would be the best decision that they can make, because they would be preparing their child not only for life on earth, but for life in heaven.
There are several ways that parents can stay connected to the school. Well, in things that I used to do, like with special projects, where I invite parents to work along with me, I used to also invite parents to come in and share information with the class. I'm not an expert in maybe certain things, but you, the parent, may be working in a particular job in the system here, in the government or so, and I would invite you in to, ask you questions that you can come and talk to the students. And when students see parents working along with the teacher, that helps a lot too.
It would be a good idea to stay connected by finding out about what's going on with the school. There are times when people from far away, they were former students, and they donate money to the school, or they donate something that the school may need, a couple laptops or something like that. Always be willing to help when you are called upon to help.
Well, what they need to do is to, make contact with the teachers, visit the school, maybe join and become a member of the Alumni Association.
I think they can stay connected if the school administration keep them informed of what's happening at the school and the progress that they're making. So I think that's for the administration to keep them properly informed, regularly informed.
Support the school with your presence. Support your school financially. Support your school in promoting the accomplishments of the school as well as their needs, but accomplishments mostly to other individuals who do not understand the purpose for having a school. A school is not just to depart or impart academics. A school is to teach individuals how to become productive, transforming agents in society.
If you have children, just bring your children. And as the years pass, let your grandchildren come, and encourage your friends to bring their children. If you're a graduate from the school, stay connected to the Alumni Association and do whatever you can when you see there is a need to help the school in any way that you can, whether you send the funds in or you offer something that the school needs particularly.
I know you can say that the school should do this and we should do that, but I think it's based on your experience with the school. And like I said, my two sons came here to the school and I saw their success. I saw what the school did for them. And so I had a positive feeling with the school and I had a desire to give back. So when Mr. Williams approached me on my retirement to come in and volunteer to teach, I readily said yes, because it was always in my mind that the school should be part of my mission. And so I just didn't want to just teach. I wanted to be involved. So I continue to be involved. Even though I don't teach, I be involved in other ways, because I feel God gave me the gift and I should pass this gift on. God helped me to become a successful nurse. And so I felt in my heart and the successes of my children that it was time for me to pass it on.
Many teachers have passed through the St. Thomas St. John Seventh-day Adventist School. I want to thank all the teachers who have played an important role and given service to the school. They have played an important role and have made an indelible mark on so many. We are continuing the goal of preparing our students to be competent now, but more so for the better world to come. We have to continue to improve our program and make sure that we are keeping up with the times. Our current teachers are continuing from the past teachers from where they have left off and pushing the program forward. We have improvements in our computer lab. We have newer computers in there. Also, through government funding, we were able to secure laptops that can service all of our students. And we have also gotten iPads and tablets. In our library, we are updating our library and making sure that we have more books for our library. We have also now become a part of the Adventist Virtual Library. That way the students are able to utilize books that are not even in the building. And so we're very excited about that process. We also, in our library, have now a media center, which is outfitted with several computers. In our classrooms, we are making sure that we are up to date, and we have a Promethean board or smart board in every classroom, and that was made available again through government funding. We are nearer to getting our basketball court all fixed up. Some of our equipment are already here, and we'll be soon ready to get everything up and running for our basketball court. We do appreciate our alumni and all the various contributions over the years. Our latest contribution is a trophy case that was donated by the class of 1987, and you can see it out there displayed in our lobby. We are so grateful to God for all that He has done for our school and look forward to what He is going to do. I want to thank everyone who have ever played a part in this school, your school. Let us continue to work together and stay connected as we push the program here at the St. Thomas St. John Seventh-day Adventist School. Thank you so very much.
Thank you for that video. It was nice seeing some of these teachers that I have not seen in a while. You notice the accomplishments that the school has gotten through federal funding, the new computers, the new basketball court that's going up. They have smart boards and Promethean boards in every classroom. I think Ms. Hendrickson, I can't remember who, but somebody mentioned it. The way to keep a school surviving is to keep supporting. And even after you leave, if you are still on island and you have children and you have grandchildren, you do need to send them back to the school. The only way the school can continue improving is if it has the support. And if you notice in those pictures, we had Director Fleming, Lake, Rogers, several people who they helped build the school. Their children went to the school. Their children taught at the school. So let's keep the support going for generations and generations, because it does make a vast difference in somebody's education. If you are willing to support the school, the information is going to be put in the chat for you. So you could support them via PayPal, or you can send them a check. You can also call the school and pay with credit card. Coming up on the program, we have special music by Muriel James Dublin, who is from the class of 1986.
Here I am
safe inside your care. I am safe inside your love. I'm safe inside your loving hand. Even though the matter may be small, I'll still give him my all in everything you lead the way. For only you know what the future holds, and I don't know a thing. That's why I depend on him. 'Cause I'm safe. I am safe inside your care. As long as you are there for me, then I don't need to fear. 'Cause I'm safe. I am safe inside your love. My help comes from above. Yes, I'm safe inside your care. I am safe inside your love. I'm safe inside your loving hand. As long as I'm in your hand, then nothing can harm me. And I'm so glad to know that you are always beside me. 'Cause I'm safe. I am safe inside your care. As long as you are there for me, I don't need to fear. 'Cause I'm safe. I am safe inside your love. My help comes from above. Yes, I'm safe inside your care. I am safe inside your love. I'm safe inside your loving hand. Oh, yes, I'm safe inside your care. I am safe inside your love. I'm safe inside your loving hand.
Thank you, Muriel, for that rendition. And thank you, Jack Ananias and Anjane Rogers previously. We have some talent at the school. So now we have reflections of former teachers who no longer reside off island. We're going to start with Mr. Morton. So the teachers we have Mr. Morton, Judy Ray McCullough, Nora Herdman Bussell, Beverly Shillingford, and Mr. Harold Brown. So we're going to start with Mr. Morton. Mr. Morton, are you on?
Okay, am I on mute? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for the honor of being part of this historic program.
You're welcome. So this
I
evening,
consider it a great honor to be part of this program.
well, you didn't teach me. I came way later, but I've always heard about Mr. Morton. So for those of us who did not have the pleasure to be taught by you, can you tell us what you taught and what years you were at the school?
Well, let me go back a little history. In 1964, December 17, Pastor K.G. Samuels performed the wedding ceremony in Bastia, Gloria Housen. Then he left for St. Thomas. And in 1967, we received a letter from him asking us to join the staff there. And without any hesitation, we picked up our one-year-old son, Linford Morton, and headed to St. Thomas. I taught at the school from 1967 to 1978. First, we were at the old school, as you call it. With Mr. Rogers. Those were some wonderful years. I could remember the first time Mr. Rogers conducted morning worship for the week. That was we did that consistently. As I said, I taught 5th and 6th grade, and old school was the best school. While we were there, we started building the school in Tutu, and that was what the women would go there, carry bricks and do whatever they can. And one of the high point gentlemen who came with Morbin, what's his name? Renee, what's his name?
Brother Percival. Brother Percival.
Brother Percival. Everybody waited for Brother Percival to show up with his Moabi. That was the highlight, Tutu. And I was given the assignment to be I'm giving myself a big title, okay? We didn't have any real equipment, but we managed to have a very great program. There was a community field about maybe half a mile away. So for our P program, the students walked. I said walk now. That half mile to the field, community field, where the people who were in charge, even though I was not a physical education teacher, they still got all the instruction that they needed. Highlights, which I remember, all kind of equipment. Sponsors from the local banks. We raised several $1,000s. The students walked several miles, 4x8. Plywood and painted, and that was our police escort. Another part of the program, which the P program, which I enjoyed, was we needed to add swimming to our program, but we didn't have a swimming pool. The swimming pool was in the city. We didn't have transportation, but there was a gentleman in the school by the name of and every time we had to go to the swimming pool, Brother James would bring his van, park it in the schoolyard, and take my little car to work. That's the sort of support we had from the community. So in all, at the school and for the work that she's doing now to carry the school forward. Thanks again for being part of the program this afternoon.
Thank you for your recollection. We really appreciate it. All right, thank you. We are going to move on now to Judy Ray McCullough. Hi, Judy.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is such a privilege to be a part of this program. I guess I'm representing all the people who only taught for 1 year. So I graduated from Andrews in 1981 and came home to teach for 1 year as my contribution to Adventist education at our school. I loved my years in Adventist school, and I was very sad that we were not able to go beyond 10th grade and I had to go to public school for the last 2 years. So I wanted to come back and teach. So I did. It was an interesting experience teaching for 2 reasons. One, it was my first year teaching officially. And secondly, I was teaching my sister and other relatives because as you mentioned before, Gabrielle, everybody in the school is family, right? So you have generations. Yes, so I taught 7th, 8th, and 9th grades. And I taught, if I remember correctly, it was Caribbean history and geography that I taught them. I taught Muriel, who just sang. She was either in 7th or 8th grade in one of those classes that I taught, and I remember her well. So the 9th graders were, that was Jasmine's class. That was like Josie and Utah. I think Sharna, Jackson, and that whole group, and Craig. And I'm telling you Craig for a specific reason. I was teaching a lesson on the early Indian inhabitants in the Caribbean. And Craig was like, Miss Ray, I need another assignment other than a test because I don't like tests. And so I thought long and hard. And I was like, what could I give Craig for him to show me the equivalent of a test? So I told him that he had to create a diorama, which he got a couple other guys. I cannot remember who the others were, but I know Craig was the leader of this project. And he created this big board and he did the early Indian settlers. So they were like Arawaks. And the chapters that we had been studying, they talked about the fact that the Indians, when the kids were born, they would they would make their heads pointed. So all the adults had pointed heads because, you didn't come out the womb that way, but they would form their heads that way from the time that they were little so that they would grow up to have this distinctive pointed head. So Craig said he's going to do this diorama, and Craig did. It's been 41 years, and I still talk about that to this day. That's how impactful it was. So Craig created this diorama of a village, an Indian village. He had the huts. In the huts, he had the hammocks where they slept. He had Indians sleeping in the hammocks. He had some laboring in the fields, all with the distinctive heads. He had the fields planted with the tips of the grass that had those little fluffy pieces. He picked them up one by one and planted them in the field. It was so creative. And because of the detail involved in that, we know Craig probably knew more about that chapter than anybody else who read it, And that was, for me, being a new teacher, realizing for the first time how having various ways for children to express their learning is so critical. And that really helped me well in all the years that I taught since that time. The other memory that stands out for me is teaching that same class. That was the 9th grade class where my sister was in the class. Now, at home, we had a nickname that we called Jasmine. I will not say the nickname on air because I probably will be disowned by her forever. And she was, we were having a class discussion and I called on her by her family nickname in the class. it just came out spontaneously. She was furious, and the class teased her for a while. You know, because of, and I remember that I was like, oh, I apologize profusely through, you know, to her for doing that. And I said, this is why you shouldn't teach relatives, because you can actually get into trouble. But it also brought me back to first grade for me, because my first grade teacher was Sherna's mom, Iona Jackson, who was actually my cousin. So I actually had that experience of having family teach me in several classes going through Adventist school. And so the students that I taught, everybody was like, oh, you're a new teacher, you're not going to be able to control the students. That was what I was told. And I have to say, kudos to those students. They gave me no trouble. They were well behaved in my class. I had absolutely no problems with my 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. And, you know, everybody talked about those grades as being, you know, Wade Aspinall was called Vietnam, right? Because it was such a bad school, because it was that age group. So I was teaching as a new teacher, teaching that age group, and those students were amazingly well behaved for me. And so it actually inspired me to continue teaching. And I have taught teaching in some capacity ever since. So I, you know, at college, when I'm teaching college students, it's not the same as teaching junior high, but that junior high class gave me a good foundation to start. And those years from 7th, 8th, and 9th showed me that little kids can really impact teachers in a major way. So kudos to the parents, to the teachers who taught them before, because when I got them, they were all right.
Awesome, thank you. I haven't been taught by relatives, but I did teach my girls, and I taught the oldest from 6th grade to 9th grade. And one day I did call her by a name that we used, and the whole class knew better than to call her that, because I was going to jump on them. But yeah, I do understand that of teaching relatives. So yes. Thank you for representing the one-year teachers and for cutting your teeth on middle school students, and not the easiest to start your first year teaching on.
That's right. Trial by fire.
Trial by fire. Thank you very much, Judy. Next, we have Miss Nora Herdman Bussell.
Yes, I'm on.
Hello, Miss Bussell. How are you?
Oh, just wonderful.
Nice to see you.
Nice being seen. I've been enjoying all of this weekend, and it's nice to hear some of the stories and things that I went through that they have gone through too.
Yes, they have. So for your section, same thing. What did you teach? When did you teach it? And what's your favorite memory?
Well, I had a great privilege of beginning in 1978, and I taught to 81, and I started the business ed program. And again, it was my first official teaching job. Wow. And it was an interesting, not only being a first year teacher, but the culture changed from living up in Michigan, where we had 7 feet of snow or something ridiculous in that January, to coming down there. It was a beautiful change until Christmas came, and I was a little sad I didn't have snow, but I enjoyed the beach instead.
That's good. That's good. So what's your favorite memory?
My favorite memory was the first day of the second school year I taught, when all my students were happy to see me that I came back. It was a thing back, well, we had a lot of people, they'd come teach and then they would leave and they would never see them again. And I kept telling them, no, I would be back. And I came back and they were thrilled. I also had the privilege my first year of teaching some 7th and 8th grade geography classes, because they needed to fill up my schedule for starting the business program, because I had to start somewhere. So I had the 10th grade class was my homeroom. And that was my second favorite memory, is that they were actually like my kids, because in October, we didn't have school on Monday. So every Monday, instead of having school, it was a holiday. Friendship Day with Puerto Rico, Columbus Day, different things. So we would go to the beach. I was the only teacher that took my whole class to the beach, and we'd have a good time. They'd come to my house. They'd hang out sometimes on Saturday nights over at my place. It was, I just felt like they were my students. And I mean, not only my students, but my kids. And to this day, I'm still in contact with a lot of them. And I still refer to them as my kids, even though it's been 42 years now.
Wow.
Since I taught there. But it was a grand experience. I'm happy to see Mrs. Rogers. I had her daughter Michelle in my class and stuff. So I just have very happy memories. And I always tell people, if you want a good experience teaching, go down to St. Thomas. It's a very friendly, everybody got involved. If anything was going on, the parents were always there to back you up. I too didn't have a problem with discipline because I tell them, if you don't behave in my business program, you'll be taking a required class. So I had no discipline. And then I'm happy to see that they've advanced to computers, because when I taught, I started on manual typewriters. And if we had no power, we could still teach. I could still teach, which was the biggest thing back then. So I'm sad Hurricane Hugo went through, but I know it upgraded things at the school.
Well, thank you. And you're starting the business program led to, I know I took accounting.
Oh, good.
And I did do typing, but I did on electric typewriter. But so see, it has trickled down. And Michelle Rogers, I believe she's now Bully, she taught me Caribbean history when I was there. I don't remember what grade that was. So it carries on and is going on for generations. So thank you very much for the years that you have worked for us at 7-Day School.
Thank you. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it. Thank you for inviting me to be here.
Thank you for coming. Our next teacher is Beverly Shillingford. Hello, Ms. Shillingford.
Hi, good evening. Good evening.
Thank you for joining us this evening. Can you tell us what you taught and when did you teach it?
First of all, it's a pleasure to be back at St. Thomas St. John 7th-day Adventist School this evening to bring back or to revive some of the wonderful memories I had over here. I started in 2002 and I ended in 2016. I taught kindergarten for 8 years, and there was the bulk of my youth. Mention the overwhelming support that I received from the parents. To me, sometimes I dreamed of something and the parent could reveal the dream for me. Because everything went on well. I just had to think of something. I don't want to mention parents and leave out anybody, but there are some names that it's imperative that I must mention some names. I had people like Aline Penny Benjamin and Janice Williams. These people were there with me, hook, line, and sinker. If I needed something for curriculum-wise, I had people like Michelle Bowley and Alan Smith. I had Monique Blake and Kabisa Smith. These were people, all the parents were there with me, but these were the core group that had me going. Miss Rogers was with me, Miss Angel Rogers. She was my assistant. But believe you me, I must mention Miss Coral Hodge. Miss Hodge had my back, my front, my top. Miss Hodge was there with me. Oh my goodness. Miss Hodge will never know how much I appreciate the help that she gave me. Miss Hodge was a seamstress. She was a cook. She was a therapist. She was a psychologist. She was a seamstress. She was a barber. If Miss Hodge could perform surgery on the children in the class, she would have done it. She was there with her all. And don't speak and forget the spiritual aspect. One of the pleasant memories When I speak about the support of the parents, I remember when Sarah Molina was supposed to be, I don't call it graduation because it was kindergarten, so it was promotional exercise. The support was so grave that her grandmother in Puerto Rico said she was coming down and she would prepare the graduation on her own. And that woman came down from Puerto Rico with boxes of everything and prepared the thing so well for us. One of my pleasantest memories was in 2003 when I came from Maryland. Usually I go to shop and bring things. And there are always more girls than boys in a class. When I came at the beginning of the term with my bags, with everything, Miss Watley stopped me and she smiled. And she said, Mrs. Chillingford, I have a surprise for you. And I'm wondering what kind of surprise late Mrs. Watley has for me. She told me you have a class of all boys, not one girl.
Wow.
When she saw my face, she said, okay, I think there are 2 girls who might come, but we'll not shout them. Miss Hodge again came with me and we organized the class and did things. Goodness, I shopped. I bought shoes and outfits for school, but I had to discard all of them and get a pair of sneakers. And that's where Miss Rogers came in, because Miss Rogers is the strong one, the athlete. And this was one of my best years in all my 50 years of teaching, all boys. Maybe you can see them here. That was our graduation exercise. The theme was for the year was Sailing on the Sea of Success. All boys. One of the high memories of that class, Sister Cardin, I have to mention your name. Sister Cardin was pregnant with her first, with a Johnny Sear, carrying Johnny Sear. And at the end, she was having problems. So she came to the school and said, Shilling, boy, I need prayers, I need prayers. So she came to the teacher's devotion and we prayed with her. But she came to the kindergarten class and she said, Shilling, I want you to pray for me. I told her, no, I'm not going to pray for you. I had boys like, I'll give you their names, you know, Mickey Bully and Joshua and Kevin Williams and Malachi Charles and these children there. So she came and I told her, I'm not going to pray for you. This is a praying class. These boys know how to pray. So they are going to pray for you. So Miss Karin came and she sat in the middle and the boys laid hands on her and Danny Molina and Joshua Corrigan put peace out. Holy Ghost prayer on Sister Karin's stomach. They prayed down heaven on her. She went home. Early next morning, her husband called. Sister Chillingford, thank you. The baby is here. I was so excited that God had answered their prayers. I was happy for them. But when I went to school, I forgot all about it. And they came, Mrs. Chillingford, what about the baby? I said, baby, what baby is that? You could see their little face dropped. Then Mickey said, Mrs. Chillingford, what about the baby we prayed for yesterday? I said, oh, yes, the baby is here. The baby is here. Her name is Johnny Sear. And you could see the boys giving each other high five. God answered our prayers. It was so amazing. This was just one of the best classes I've ever had. All boys. We had another one. Another memory that I have is when Dr. Brown came and he introduced itinerant teaching. So although I did 7 years in kindergarten, I did 4 years in grade 6. Then I had 4, 5, and 6. And then that year he had something. It was a social event where we either had to dress up like twins or like triplets. And Mrs. Parsons, Miss Joshua, Miss Fleming, deceased, and myself, the four of us dressed. And this just gave me a cool memory to remember something enjoyable when I remember Miss Fleming, because she was my darling. And so I have that picture that I can look and remember Miss Fleming. They were wonderful days at the school, I can't lie. We had one year where we had for graduation, sailing high in 2005. And everybody was dressed like an air hostess. I contacted American Airlines, and they even sent one of their agents to come during the graduation and gave the announcement like you on the plane talking about turbulence and all of that. And they gave us a little trinket. So the girls had, the children had their little emblems and they just fixed us up so well. One year we had God's Garden. And once again, Sister Cordogon arranged the back of is it Shiloh Church? Yes. And it wasn't Shiloh Church, it was Philadelphia Church. And we had that thing like it was a restaurant. And on the side of the restaurant was God's Garden. And we even had a water fountain out there. And the children looked like bouquets of flowers. These were just memories, 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 memories. But the most was the week of prayers, the devotions every day to help you to prepare, because the challenges were great. Although all the parents were there with me, I cannot lie. Things went well, but most of it was a result of the prayers, the prayers that we had before we began classes. And during the interspersed, during the year, we had a week of prayer and all the other things that made school life. So the school, while I was there, was what it is. Not because of us, it's nothing to do with us, but because of the prayers that were lifted. I remember there were prayer warriors who would come and pray around the school when the school term was about to begin. And all these were some of the things that gave the school the power that it had to move on and to be successful. I thank Mr. Williams for giving me the opportunity to be there. And I thank Dr. Brown for helping me to move on. I thank the staff, Ms. Laws, Ms. Rogers, and Ms. Osborne, and all the others, Ms. Greenaway, and all the others who supported me. And the parents, kudos to you all. Alan, you got your gift this morning. And I thank God for that. I could not give it to you, but you got it. Let us get our flowers while we're living. And I'm sure I can say I got it from St. Thomas, St. John, Seventh-day Adventist School. Thank you very much for inviting me, Mrs. Hodge. It's been a pleasure. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you. Your memories are very...
And may I jump in there and say that the person that did that was superintendent for Sabbath School this morning was the baby that Miss Jennifer just spoke about, Janicia. Yes, she was the superintendent for Sabbath School. All right.
Okay, thank you. So coming up is Mr. Harold Brown. So if Ms. Hodge didn't ask me to host, I was still tuning in just to see Mr. Brown, because I don't think I've seen Mr. Brown since he left. He taught me Bible and math for 7th and 8th grade, and he was also intimidating. So, hi, Mr. Brown. So psyched I am. I think class of 92 is psyched.
Oh my
too.
goodness.
Yes, yes. I hear Avanel saying, "Oh my goodness."
Yes.
Hey, Mr. Brown! Wow.
Mr. Brown. So, oh yes, guys, yeah. I mean, I've talked.
Yeah, so we are all excited to hear you. So I'm going to do like I did with others. What did you teach? When did you teach? And what are your favorite memories? Guys, mute your mic so he can talk.
So I was surprised, first of all, when I got the call from my son-in-law, Linton Charles, and he's a trickster. So we work together now, and can you imagine, those who know him, you know what I'm dealing with. So when he said, I have a surprise for you, I said, well, you always have surprises, but you're full of tricks, so I don't believe you. Then he said, it is from Miss Lake. I said, Lake, which lake? Because I know both lakes, you know, the one from Shiloh and the one from City Church. But I was thinking Joel, because Joel is always trying to get in touch with me, and I'm surprised he's not on here, because Joel claims that he's the best math student that I have ever had.
Right.
I know there are several other students who would challenge that, including you, Gab. So when I called, but he said Miss Hodge wants to get in touch with you. You know who I was thinking? Zuma Hodge, because we lived there for about 8 years, by as a tenant. And then I finally got in touch, but I called Miss Hodge and the phone rang and I left a message, and about 3 or 4 days passed and I didn't hear anything. I said, well, I guess that didn't work. Then I finally got in touch with her. So I'm really glad that I got on here. I relived 11 years within this short space of time. I started at the school in a very interesting way from 1983, 82 until 1993, but I didn't leave until 94. I actually landed on St. Thomas in 82. And I don't know if you guys know anything about what the airport was like at that time.
The hangar.
Yeah, I was disappointed. I was sad, because I was coming to America's paradise. Any other paradise would not disappoint me, but not America's paradise. So when I landed, first of all, when the plane was coming into land, I'm looking down for this, spacious and luxurious airport, and I'm seeing this little thing. And as we got close, I'm like, this thing is going to land in the water. Keep in mind now that I've traveled from Jamaica, from Kingston, Jamaica to Montego Bay, from Montego Bay to Miami. And all of these were American Airlines, the big ones. And now here I am on Premier. You guys who are older might understand. There's a major transition. And so I was upset all the way. My wife met me at the airport and she was excited. I'm like, I don't know why you're excited. What are you so excited about? So we got up to the school and I met Mr. Maynard. Mr. Maynard shook my hand and he said, welcome to our school. So I said, what do you mean, welcome to our school? He said, I heard you're a math major. I said, yes. He said, well, we have a space for a math teacher and a Bible teacher. I said, well, you have the math teacher. He said, you went to Western College? Is that Adventist school? I said, yes. He said, well, you're a Bible teacher. So I got the job as math and Bible. So I taught math and Bible, 7th and 8th grade. And middle school, I remember somebody saying to me when I started that they don't know which is worse, teaching middle school or teaching students on crack. So I said, it can't be that bad, and of course, my first couple of classes, I'm talking about, a couple of these fellows, Miss Gordon's son, Peters, David Peters, Joey, those, you guys might not know some of them. And I had put the fear of God in them, I'm like, this, you don't want to mess with me because, I will take you outside. And I spoke with the parents and they said, Mr. Brown, whatever you need to do with these boys, get them straight. And so with that, they realized who was in charge. But one of my most favorite memory, and I'm not going to select, all my classes were great. So, I know with 92, by the way, that class did some stuff. We used to have to go down to, yeah, we had to go, good stuff now. We had to go down, we used to have to go to the church for chapel. You guys remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And when it rained, we would have to stay in the church for a little longer. But eventually it was a class of 92 that started to ask questions as they normally would, question everything, every reason. Why was the God is the Victor book, the Bible book, why was it not a bound book? Why was it in a folder? They fussed about that, Miss Hodge. And I'm thinking, what guys, what's wrong with you? They fussed about it. And they eventually put it in one book, eventually. And I'm thinking, these guys don't give up. And they were the ones to ask, why couldn't we have chapel upstairs? Yeah, chapel upstairs where we would pull the partitions. I do not know if they still have those sliding doors. We pull the partitions, and my room would have been the second room. When you go upstairs, there is the middle section, and then when you turn to the right, there's a room right there, and then there will be my room right by the next set of stairs coming from downstairs, from the second floor. And so we would open the partitions, and we started having our chapel services upstairs. And those were some of the things that, they, because of questioning and asking all questions and why, that we were able to make some of these changes. Some of my most pleasant memories were with the steel band. I don't know if you guys remember the steel orchestra. And I was there when it started. Mr. Constantine, Mr. Faulkner, and there was this other guy from Trinidad that would bring these steel cans up to the school. And when they started, hammering them and, doing the different things, to me, that was so exciting for them to take something looking so simple and create music from it. And then when the steel orchestra became popular and started going places, and we get to travel with them and hear how they sound, music to my ears and joy to my heart to see them perform. I also enjoyed when we had to take the education program to the different churches, especially St. John, when they all had to get on a boat, and some of these students were scared because, when we're going to St. John, the boats were not cruising. They were like, okay, we need to get from Red Hook to St. John in as fast as we could. And sometimes when the waters are choppy, those students were scared. Guess what? They would not go up on the second deck. They all wanted to stay down where, they're safe. Plus, there were some other things. The guys wanted to go up there for another reason. Because as you pass some of the other boats, they see stuff. And after I found out why they were going up there, I would stay right on that step and tell you, you can't go up there. You cannot go up there. And they would have to stay down, wouldn't be able to see them. But those were some pleasant years that I had there. We left after Hurricane Hugo, because I don't know if you guys might remember, we lost everything. And I remember going to Pueblo down there, not the one at Four Winds, but the one closer. Yes, right. And got into all kinds of scuffle over water. We had 3 children, and we couldn't get water. We couldn't get this stuff that we needed to feed them, and remember, we do not have potable water where we were. The water came from the cistern. And those landlords of ours, Miss Zulma Hodge, they were sweet, nice, kind people. They would dip the water out of the swimming pool, but they would tell us, please don't use it for cooking. We could use it for bathing and, that kind of stuff. But they would not want us to use it. And it was tough because no planes were coming in, the airports is shut down. Boats can't come in. The only ones that we had there were people that were with weapons that were there to protect the stores. And so after that happened, I said, well, it's kind of rough to be in this kind of situation where you're not sure, if something like this happened again, what exactly would happen. And so we left there in 90, they left in 93, I left in 94. But if I could go back, I would do it all over again. It was a wonderful experience. And I would encourage those who are there currently to work with your staff. Our staff would go Sunday mornings, every Sunday mornings, to Megan's Bay. I would do the Johnny cake. Somebody else would do the saltfish or whatever. Somebody would do the hot cocoa and all of that stuff. And we had a great time. We have worship first. We talk about some of the things that we would like to do at the school. Then we played volleyball. Mr. Rogers was champion. Play volleyball, swim, and have a great time. Our social events were exciting and excellent. We were really cohesive and work hard to make sure that school was what it's supposed to be to represent our students. I enjoyed my time immensely at that school.
Thank you so much. I'm telling you, Mr. Brown, I was telling people you got to come on today because Mr. Brown is there. Two things. One, I honestly believe Genevieve is your best math student. And when I tell you this child can calculate anything within seconds, I have no problem throwing her up to challenge anybody. And it all is from your class. The second thing was we were in the 4th grade class and the stairs by 4th grade went right up to your door.
Yes.
And I know a couple of times we would try to come up to the 3rd floor and you would just stand there and we would just float backwards down the steps. So when we finally had your class, I think it was the only time our class was quiet because we were all scared of Mr. Brown. And somebody posted it in there. Your finger would just come over the side and point to the paper and go, "Are you sure?" And your one thumb was like 2 or 3 of my thumbs at that time. So
do you remember Vivian London?
Yeah.
So I went one time to Vivian to ask her something about some answer she had for a math problem. And I went down there, and as I went close, she turned off, she looked at my finger, she said, "Ah!" And then she said, "Oh, okay, Mr. Brown, please, I'm sorry." But she said, she was so scared. Joe Lake was another character. He's Mr. Brown. Yeah, but I enjoyed. Oh, there's Avenel. Look, see the hand?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what some students used to do is they would start, you might not know Jeff Drago, I think was his name.
I don't know him, but
yeah, but they were before.
That's Miss Gordon's son. That's Miss Gordon's son.
Yes.
Oh, Jeff. Oh, okay. The big one, the older one. Okay.
Yeah. He and David, wasn't that David? Peters.
I think it's David Peters.
David, yeah, the older one, oldest one. But what they would do, one would go to the home ec area, right? And the other one would go where typing would normally be. And they start running. So it's almost like, how are you gonna catch both of us? But what I would do, I don't know if you guys remember, my classroom at one point, the chalkboard was towards that part of the room. I was the one to move it there so that I can, because at first I had it over by the window,
right
down to the church, and I moved it over that region for that reason. And the first month when I had it out there, instead of having to walk from all the way across there to get out there, I would just jump out there. And I would catch 2 of them at the same time because they were going towards that same step to run down. And sometimes they tried to jump down there and I would catch both of them. And it was challenging, but it was also, exciting. I have it.
I'm laughing at the running because I used to run down the hall and I'll stop by the English classroom, walk past your room, and take off running again.
Sometimes when I look out the door, I would see some skirt going down the middle, like, the restrooms are in the middle there.
Yeah.
All I saw was some skirt. But you know what I would do? I could jump from the top to that second level and jump to the other level and jump. And sometimes I catch them before, catch them before they get there.
We've been caught. Avenel has something to say.
Genevieve, Genevieve down there.
Yes. Abner, go ahead.
I was, as you mentioned, Mr. Brown and his finger. It's so funny because I was, as soon as I came on and I saw Mr. Brown on, I was so happy to see you. I haven't, like Gabrielle, I haven't seen you since you left. And one, especially with that finger, I have a memory. One time we were in your class and we were taking a test, and everybody had this kind of intimidated fear when being in your class. And I remember we were taking a test and you were walking back and forth, I guess, to make sure, you know, some people not cheating the way they would try to have their cheat sheets or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're walking back and forth around the place, and all of a sudden behind my back, while I'm at my desk taking my test, I just see this big finger come across my ear to my paper. I was like, this is incorrect. I was so dead scared. I was stiff in my hands. I don't think for a while I couldn't do anything else on my test for a while. I was just dead scared from then.
Sorry about that, but it was all done in the interest
It was
of
all done in love.
Exactly. You still love me either which way.
Mr. Brown, you remember that jar of chalk you had?
Yes, yes. By the way, I still use it. I use it on our children.
Ah.
Yes.
I remember Shirley and I had that competition who got the highest grade on the test. We would get the chalk.
Yep. Yep.
It was always Shirley and me, boy. Shirley and me through the years.
That's right. That's right. So have you guys seen Joel lately?
They said he's
I
on.
think they say he's on now.
Looks like
I don't know why this man calling my name, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, Mr. Brown.
There he is. Let me put my glasses on so I can see. Hey, look at Jackie. Where's Joel?
Joe, we can't see you.
That's a good thing. I don't want to be seen.
Boss.
Joel, like, you see, he's up here, but then no, he's gone. His mic is mute.
He hiding.
Yeah, and he always wanted to see me, but no, he's hiding.
Show your face, Joel. Show your face.
Orange James, what's going on?
All right. Good.
Yes, yeah, I see you. I watch you on Facebook every now and then. Yep.
Good. Everything is safe.
Yeah. Well, 92 is in the house and others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello,
Where
Mr.
are you now,
Brown.
Mr. Brown? Where are you now? Where are you now?
I'm in Huntsville. I was in Birmingham for about 18, 19 years, Alabama. And I moved to Huntsville 2017. And I work a year at the school system. And then right after that was when the pandemic started, you know, making stuff complicated. Was 64 years then. And I said, you know what? I'm going to be penalized, but guess what? I'm near enough to retirement. See you. And so I jumped out right then. So this would be like my third year since, you know, coming out of retirement. But listen now, retirement means retire.
For so what?
My brother-in-law told me this a couple of years ago that he retired to work. So that's what I do. I keep very active, you know. And
you're so looking good.
Yeah, working on it. By the
so
way,
now I have an excuse to come to Huntsville.
Yeah, Sherry Ann.
You have a Santa Claus to hire.
Yeah.
Sherry Ann, at one point, I remember I had a full head of hair when I started, and teaching middle school. She came to me one day and she said, I don't know where she saw it, but she looked at the right back here, and she said, Mr. Brown, I think we're giving you such a hard time. You are going bald. And I said, no, not me. She said, it's about the size of a quarter. I say, you could see that already? She said, yep. And then she said, I'll never forget, every time I see her, I remind her, she said, don't worry, Mr. Brown. By the time it gets to that stage, I'm going to find a cure for it. Look at it now.
See you money.
Yeah. But it was a joy seeing you guys, and I know we're wearied you guys out, and but it was a pleasure. This is unforgettable.
Thank you so much, Mr. Brown. I'm glad,
Say
however,
hi to
without
Miss
you tracking
Brown.
down.
Somebody's-
What, Jenny?
Say hi to Miss Brown for us too.
Oh, hi to Miss Brown and the kids who are
Yes.
grown with kids, but
Everybody.
yeah.
Right.
I'd
So
love
Miss
to see
Hart,
all of
thank you
them.
for finding Mr. Brown for us. You see,
Yeah,
we
okay.
hijacked the program.
We- okay.
All right. So guys, you see the influence that we have had, the influence teachers have had. In the chat, we posted how you can support the school. So financially is not the only way you can support the school. If you have time and you're on island, you could volunteer. You could help them volunteering. They need mentors. You could help mentor a young person. And if you want to substitute, you can substitute. I substituted for a year up here, and God blessed me. All my bills and my children's tuition was paid. I don't know what it is like at home, but you do get a good little, change there helping substitute. So, and substitutes are very hard to come by. So if you can substitute,
they
if you
are.
can mentor, if you can volunteer, please help. If financially is something you cannot do, you can do it in one of those other ways. And trust me, it's gonna visit generations coming. We have special music from Neville Peter, who attended the school.
Of Jesus and his disciples on the boat. And the boat was rocking because there was a really bad storm. In fact, it was doing more than rocking. The Bible says there was water coming into the boat and the water covered the boat. But Jesus was in the back sleeping. But before that incident, Jesus had told him something. Jesus said, let's go over to the other side. Let's go over to the other side. Then they got in the boat and the storm began. But the wonderful thing about this is that when Jesus tells you, let's go over to the other side, it doesn't matter what happens before you get to the other side, because whatever happens will not keep you from getting over to the other side. Hopefully you got that. If Jesus says, let's go to the other side, and something happens, it doesn't matter what happened, you're still going to make it. You're still going to make it. I want us to know that today, because there's a lot going on in our world today. And when they woke Jesus up from his sleep, all Jesus had to say to the storms, to the winds, to the waves, is peace, be still. Peace, be still. This is what Jesus is telling you and I right now. Peace, be still. Yes, there might be things in your life that you're worried about. There are things in my life that I'm worried about. But the Bible calls the peace of Christ a peace that passes all understanding. Why? Why doesn't the world understand the peace that God gives? It's because it's not just any kind of peace. It's the kind of peace that will sustain you in the midst of a pandemic. It's the kind of peace that will sustain you in the midst of political strife. It's the kind of peace that will keep you calm regardless of your trials. The winds and the waves sweeping over my soul. Peace, be still. God is real, and anxiety feels like it's gonna take control. Peace be still. God is real. The enemy rushing in just like a flood. Oh no, peace be still. God is real. I remember how he lifted my soul from the mud. Peace be still. God is real. Listen. God is my refuge. He is my help when I'm in trouble. So be still, my soul. Be still, my soul. Be still. Be still, my soul. Oh, my soul. Peace be still. The Lord is my light and the strength of my life. Oh yeah, peace be still. God is real, keeping mercy for thousands who walk in the light. Peace be still. God is real. God is my refuge. He is my help when I'm in trouble. So be still, my soul. Be still, my soul. Be still. Be still, my soul. Oh, my soul. God is my refuge. He is my help when I'm in trouble. So be still, my soul. Be still, my soul. Be still. Yeah. Be still, my soul. Oh, my soul. Peace be still. Peace be still. No matter what you're going through, peace be still. Peace be still. Peace be still.
Thank you, Neville, for that rendition. Guys, it was a wonderful AY evening. I saw pictures, I learned things, I saw people whose names I've only been hearing through the years. And we heard how great the class of 1992 is, not only from our voices, but from other people. We saw Mr. Brown, we saw Mr. Morton, we saw a whole bunch of other teachers. And most of all, we got together to celebrate the legacy of St. Thomas St. John Seventh-day Adventist School. I was being funny last night and I said I was sentenced for 8 years. And in my sentence, it molded me and crafted me into the person I am today. In my teaching, every teacher I have had is in me as a teacher with my students. And Mr. Brown, the same way you intimidated us, I have students who say I scare them. Why would this beauty scare somebody? I don't know, but I do. But I do know two things. One, St. Thomas St. John Seventh-day Adventist School is there because God wants it to be there. It was built by his people, it is being sustained by his people, and it will last by his people. All of us are St. Thomas St. John Seventh-day Adventist School. Find a way to support a school. If you're off island, start a chapter. And in your chapter, you figure out how you could help the school. If you're at home, support, volunteer, mentor, substitute, help them find grants, help them figure out how they can help improve the school, curriculum-wise, professional development. But there is something in each of us to help the school to be a better place. And I hope you do find that. I hope you do find something that you can help the school with. As we close out tonight, please look through the chat and find the information on how you can support the school. I think, yep, I could post it one. Nope, I cannot. But find the chat, join the Facebook page. You'll see all the pictures and everything that was discussed here today. And please, while you have your devotion and your prayers, please remember the school, the staff, the families that are there. Every Adventist education needs our prayers and support. We're gonna have closing prayer by Elise Cross, class of 2009.
Good evening, everyone. Please join me for a word of prayer. Dear most kind and loving Heavenly Father, you have been gracious to us. You have been gracious to your school, and we are so very grateful. Throughout the years, we've seen how you have empowered people to build it, to teach at it, to send their students to your school, and how it continues to this day. Dear Lord, we ask that you bless the faculty, the staff that are leading your school and teaching your children. The Lord, we ask that you bless all of those who are volunteering and have volunteered in the past. Continue to help your school grow and continue to help your school be a force of good in the lives of everyone who attends there. We thank you so much for your mercy. You have been so kind. And we ask you to continue to be kind to us. We love you. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Amen. I would like to just make a couple comments, please. And while I'm making the comments, I will put up on the screen the different ways in which you can donate. I would just like to thank Gabrielle for hosting this afternoon. Thank you so very much. Great job. And I want to thank all those that participated this afternoon, those that did special music, prayer, beginning and ending. I would like to thank Hester for putting together the slideshow. And I would like to thank Karel and Eugene for putting the video together. It was a very, very nice video. I'd like to thank them. And I'd like to thank the teachers that participated this afternoon. Thank you so very much. And just want to thank all of you alumni for joining us, and want to actually, like Gabrielle said, just continue to connect. If you did not sign up yet on the questionnaire, please do so. Visit our website, www.sttjsdaschool.org, and fill out the questionnaire. We want to have everyone to be a part of our alumni listing so we can stay connected. Thank you again so very much, and God bless all of you.
Before you sign off, can I get folks to turn on their cameras so I can do a screenshot of all who's on? Turn all your cameras on. Get this.
Ms. Herdman,
Yes,
it's Jeffrey.
I was wondering if that was you.
Yes, it's me.
I saw that Jay Clark and I thought, please. Good to see you.
Same here. It was wonderful to hear you. Yeah, glad you could do this. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So as much as possible, everyone that can turn the cameras on,
Cameras.
so we have to take the picture.
Awesome,
Mr.
put
Brown,
some
you see
light on. I
Joel
can
there?
hardly see you. Genevieve, put the light on your face. You're in the shadow. Orson, you too.
Mr. Brown, come on. Hester, you too.
Lulu.
All right. First
Mr. Brown
screen,
is
here
by
we
his
go.
camp. Is Mr. Brown there?
I don't.
Miss Hartman, I got kicked out of class a few times, huh?
My first reaction was you standing in front of my fan after PE class.
Yep.
I'll never forget that.
Okay, first screen. And the second screen. Here we go. Okay, all right, thank you.
All right.
It was great. Maybe
Thanks
next year we'll have
everyone.
more.
What was that?
I said maybe next year we'll have more participation.
Recording stopped.
That's good.
All right.
Irma keeps pushing me on here, so Irma reaching out.
Yeah, how come y'all didn't get your buddy on?
Oh, look, Mr. Brown
No,
came
here's
on
Mr.
now.
Brown. Okay,
together.
on the page. Taking another picture. Hold on.
Kamaka has us, so we could get another one here.
Okay. Yes.
Money Love, you turn on your camera?
Okay. Let's see, who do I have on here? Okay. Let me go back to page 1 and see who I have on here.
Hey.
Wonderful.
Okay. Oh, there's Monica finally.
Yes.
All righty, got some. Thank you.
All
Renee,
right.
thank you.
All the best, everyone. And we will try to keep
That man?
connecting. We will try to connect a little more often with sending out stuff on emails for to you alumni. And
Thank
those
you
who haven't
all.
joined on, please do so. Thanks for coming again.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good seeing you.
Hey, Jeffrey.
Mr. Morton, good seeing
Take
you.
care.
Repairman Joel.
All right, folks, take care.
Hey, Mr. Brown.
Okay,
Hey.
hey
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
Yes.
Yeah. This morning I saw